Hi everyone, it's Anne. Welcome to my channel, Head Trip Creations, where I do mixed media portrait art of all different types, but never hyperrealism. When I do a piece, I usually use my imagination and I kind of wing it. Sometimes I use reference, but when I do, it's over to the side and I kind of eyeball it as I trace it with a pencil. This time I used technology. I had a lot of fun bringing an image up onto my 11-inch tablet and laying a sheet of watercolor paper over it and using it as a light box to trace it. I can't wait to show you what I did from that point on. The video will start now. Enjoy. So now I'm going over all of the pencil lines with a Micron pen. It's really important to make it your own, not only for legal reasons if you're going to use the piece in like print on demand or publications or YouTube, but as a creative, you want to have your own style. So right here, I am first copying what I see, and then I start customizing it right here by drawing ruffles, which is very, very traditional for a harlequin, as well as that bell cap that we've all seen, that fancy hat with all the bells hanging. And here I am starting to work on the complexion with brown alcohol ink that I made, and I'll go over that with white acrylic later. And so now I am borrowing the red by using Arteza watercolor, and I'll be borrowing some of the blue for the eyes and some contouring. This is black alcohol ink, so this is a base. I'm going to be adding all of the collage papers to it to assemble the bell cap. And now I'm going over the skin tone with white acrylic paint to get that theatrical look that you would see on a harlequin, a jester, or a clown. So this is the first layer. I'll add a second layer later. And now I am pulling out all of my stash papers that have the harlequin diamonds on it. The color scheme is going to be black and brown for the most part. And once I decided which pieces I want, I glued them down. And then, of course, kind of look like puzzle pieces. So I go into it with black acrylic paint to kind of unify all of the pieces and also to add depth and dimension. And now I am adding some doodles and diamonds to the neck, but I didn't like the way it looked, so I went over it with acrylic later. And now I am, just like in the image, adding blue to the eyes, around the nose, under the mouth, but I don't go all the way up on the forehead. So even though I'm borrowing, I'm still modifying. And now to add texture to the ruffles, I am using a palette knife to lay down a very heavy coat of joint compound. I let it sit for more than an hour to air dry and then added a coat of dark brown alcohol ink that I made, which seeps into all of the nooks and crannies, and later I'll add a coat of black alcohol ink. Here I'm going over the watercolor with deep burgundy acrylic to add more of like an intense red to that section. And now going around the hairline as a base for what I'm going to do later as part of the cap. And then just adding some alcohol ink to the eyebrows, the eyelids, wherever there's going to be shadows and contouring. Gradually build up the depth in the eyes, all the shadows, the lips, making the upper lip a little bit darker later with some black. And now adding a second coat of white acrylic to the skin tone for that theatrical look, and I love the way that looks. Detailing with the black acrylic. all around the lips, the eyes, the eyebrows, under the jaw. And now I'm adding black alcohol ink to the ruffles, and later I'll go over it with a light dusting of cream acrylic to highlight the texture. And now this is Caran d'Ache Gold water-soluble crayon, which is so creamy like lipstick. And now I'm going over the neck with buttermilk acrylic to cover up all of the doodles, those lines and diamonds that I drew before. And now I am making the bells that get attached to the cap using black and white checkered collage paper. I drew the circle using a paint bottle to trace it. And now to attach it, I am drawing a string, if you will, with black hot glue. So fun. Here I am doing a little bit of that bell cap. It's like a little bit of netting. And now I am drawing the traditional lines that a harlequin has around the eyes, above and below the eyes, using a Micron pen and using brown and black pan pastel to add some shadows and contouring. And now I am adding the paper bells that I will later add acrylic to make them look heavier. I'm staining them here with dirty water and adding more Caran d'Ache crayon to the eyes in turquoise. And this is watercolor in a different shade of blue for the irises, a little more gold. And now to highlight all the texture in the ruffles, I'm using a small bristle brush that I dipped in cream acrylic, and I'm going around at the surface level, just doing a light dusting, and the acrylic is hitting the high peaks of the texture and pulling out all of those lines. And now with a small precision bottle filled with black acrylic that I cut with flow weight to make it very fluid, I'm going around wherever I feel I want thicker lines or darker lines, especially like the eyes, the pupils, the lids, the cap, where the hairline would be. Adding fine lines to get the look of mesh, working on the eyes a little bit more. And now this is a reddish brown oil pastel stick. I just wanted to get another shade of brown in there and a different texture. And then going all around with the thin black acrylic. And now I am anchoring the bells, making them look heavier by going all around the rim and around the pattern. And it makes it look like almost like jewelry. It gives it weight instead of like a label or just paper sitting on the piece. And it is done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me take an image and make it my own. If you have any questions about my process or materials, leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. And if you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you will, because I upload regularly. Until the next video, take care. I'll see you soon.